Hello there, amazing person. Today I will be making a vegan keto recipe for you. I'm trying to keep the recipes that I use as clean and as fast and simple as possible, so there are not a lot of ingredients. I make sure that all of my recipes are about 500 to 600 calories. They're high in fats because they're keto, and they're extremely low in carbs. So the recipe that I'm going to make today is rosemary chicken, and I'm going to season the chicken with lemon, rosemary, pepper, salt, stuff like that. I'm going to add all of the things that I use on screen. And the chicken that I'm using is actually plant-based chicken. There are numerous amounts of chicken substitutes in the supermarket, so have your pick at it. Depending on where you live, you'll have different kinds of fake chicken. Fake chicken and real chicken, they both have kind of the same ratio when it comes to carbs. They're low in carbs, they're high in protein, like all meat and meat substitutes. So we're doing a good job using chicken breasts. They're very low in carbs, no sugars, no fats. The fat is going to be added in the recipe itself, and it's high in protein. So basically this recipe is going to be high in proteins and high in fats and very low in carbs. So for this recipe, I am going to be using 6 ounces of fake chicken breasts. This is 100% plant-based. And of course, you can use real chicken if you want to. So the second ingredient is cauliflower. I bought mine pre-chopped in the supermarket, but you can go ahead and buy a whole cauliflower. It's way cheaper if you buy one cauliflower and you chop it up yourself in a food processor, but I thought it would be way easier to just do it this way. So I'm actually going to make 2 different kinds of cauliflowers. The first one is chopped, which is pre-chopped, really easy, and the second one is this one. I already marinated it. It has a different taste. So I marinated mine with lots of pepper and Cajun herbs. And I cut the cauliflower in slices, and I'm going to bake this in my air fryer. So I have baked kind of steak cauliflower and this one, the chopped cauliflower. The first thing we're gonna do is to season this chicken, fake chicken, with rosemary and salt, pepper, and lemon. So I'm using rosemary, but they're not extremely fresh. I'm using rosemary, but I already cut them. As soon as I buy them fresh, I cut them up and I put them in the freezer, because I hate when herbs go to waste. You usually just use 1 piece of the herbs like ginger, rosemary, thyme, stuff like that, and the rest goes to waste. So when I cut them up and freeze them in, you can use them whenever you want, and it's good as fresh. I also have the dried rosemary and other herbs in the kitchen cabinet, but for some reason I don't think it tastes as good as the fresh herbs. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cut up rosemary for this recipe instead of the powdered and dried up rosemary that you buy in a jar. So that's what I did with my rosemary. I'm going to have 1/2 of 1 lemon, squeeze it on the chicken, and I'm really using my hands here because I washed them obviously and it feels way better to just do these things with my hands. All I'm going to add now is some pepper and salt, and then I'm going to leave it for about an hour to let it really soak up all of the flavors, and then I'm going to get back to the recipe. The next thing we're going to do is to steam the cauliflower rice. I showed you before that I bought the cauliflower pre-packaged, so all we have to do is just put the cauliflower in water, and we're going to leave it like this for about 20 minutes until the cauliflower is tender, because right now it's raw and hard and we don't want to eat it like this. So the chicken has to wait for an hour. This has to be on fire for about 20 minutes. It's simultaneously, so I'm going to do something else in the next 20 minutes and I'll come back to the kitchen when this is done. This is the final product for the cauliflower. I poured out the water and I added pepper, salt, and some vegan butter. And now we're going to air fry the other cauliflower. So I went ahead and seasoned these 2 slices of cauliflower. See? Regular cauliflower with some Cajun and smoked paprika. I let it sit for, I think, about 3 hours. And right now we're just going to fry it in the air fryer. I could fry it in a pan, but I think the air fryer is much easier because we're going for easy, right? Let's see if they both fit. Yeah, they fit. And then we're going to put it on baking 26 minutes. By the time this is done, look at it. By the time this is done, the chicken will also be done marinating, and then we're going to finish the chicken. So I'm going to do something else for another half an hour. Quick tip. I boiled the cauliflower in a pan, but you can also just put it in a rice cooker, and because it's cauliflower rice, it's about the same. It's going to steam and it's going to get the cauliflower to the right consistency. So that's an even easier way to do it, because then you don't have the excess water once it's done. It's already steamed and all the water will be gone, so you just have to add your pepper, salt, and some butter to it. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Perfectly baked. It really looks amazing, and it actually smells pretty good too. So we're going to put this on a plate, and we are going to transfer the chicken breasts into the air fryer. So we are going to transfer these perfectly cooked cauliflower steaks to a plate, and then we're going to clean this a little and put the chicken breasts inside of the air fryer. This has been marinating for an hour, and all we have to do now is put the chicken breasts into the air fryer. The thing with vegan meat is that it needs less time, and you don't have any problem with food contamination or eating it too raw. So we're going to put it on let's see, chicken. We're going to treat it as regular chicken, 24 minutes. And that's another half hour that I'm going to use to clean up a little. And once we're done, this is the last part of what we're doing today for the recipe. Once the meat is done, we can set up a plate and have some dinner. And this is the last part. Oh my goodness. This looks amazing. So we're going to transfer these into the plates, and then I'm going to show you the end result. And this is the end result. This is a cauliflower rice with the vegan chicken made with rosemary and lemon. And this is the cauliflower steak with the rosemary lemon chicken. So basically this is keto vegan. So this plate is about 550 calories. It has 40 grams of protein, 40 grams of fat, and only 10 grams of carbs. And because it's so low in carbs, it's considered keto. The fats, I actually cheated a little. I didn't use a lot of fat, so I have more room to put something on top of it, a dressing or vegan mayonnaise, something with fats with just a little more flavor. But it's not really necessary to add extra fat if you bake this in oil. But I put it in the air fryer. So that's the only difference. There's going to be less than 40 grams of fat in here, but you can add fat on top of it. You can also drizzle a little of olive oil on top of it, but I choose to have a fatty dressing on top of this. Same goes for this plate. It's cauliflower rice. I like to have something more on my rice. So because this is baked in the air fryer, it's not really fatty. I'm going to add a dressing with a lot of more fat on top of it. And this concludes my recipe. Going to devour this plate, and then I'm going to keep this for tomorrow, because I always cook for 2 days, because I think it's a waste to just make one dish and then do the whole thing over again the next day. So this one is for today and this one is for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be eating this right now, and next week I'll be back with another vegan keto recipe. Bye.